Welcome back to ShePropTalk. I am Beverly, and today's guest is Katrina from Yupkat Cosplay. Welcome, Katrina. I'm so glad to have you here.
Hello.
This is
Thank you
really
for having
exciting.
me.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I know I've been wanting to get you on the show for a really long time. And I've been stalking your costume build that we're going to be talking about today for a while. So I'm really excited to hear about how you made all of that. But before we get started and jump into your costume, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and where your cosplay name came from?
Sure. I am being bitten by the cat. Hang on. Um, I am 30 years old and I've been cosplaying for a little more than 10 years. And Yelp Cat is just, I don't know, it was just a short name I'd picked up because I just wanted something short and
Uh-huh.
concise. Because, like, when you're trying to make an email address, everything is so taken nowadays. So it's just,
Yeah.
I'm Cat. Yep, that's it. Um, Short and simple.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, my name is kind of long and it was supposed to be a placeholder for a while until I thought of something a little shorter and then I'm just stuck with it now. It's very long. Um, well, that is awesome. I also have to give your cat a shout out because I'm a huge fan. Meaty. Meaty also has his own Instagram page, and
It
Meaty
does.
is a good boy and very cute. So go check out her page to find the meaty content, which is why I'm here. But like our last episode, everyone, if you are listening today, you might want to head over to the YouTube channel to watch Meaty biting Katrina and also watch all the show and tell that we're going to be talking about with her costume. So can you tell me a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today? Tell me about the costume and why you wanted to make it, a little bit about it.
Today we're going to talk about my Bastet Ana costume from Overwatch. And
Awesome.
really, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. Mainly, I saw when they revealed the skin that she had just a really cool mask, and I wanted to try sculpting and casting a mask for the first time.
Oh, awesome.
So I just immediately set out on that. And then at some point, I'm like, well, I have the mask. I may as well do the costume because I'd already done two other skins of Ana. So
Oh, wow. What other two did have you done?
I did her turquoise skin, which is just like a recolor of her classic skin, and then I did her Horus skin, which is another recolor of her younger Captain Amari skin.
Oh, awesome. So it's fair to say that she is your favorite character.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And
she's
what
just
is,
like this badass old
yeah.
grandma. And I just like it.
Oh, that's awesome. That answers my other question. What about the character is appeals to you and draws you to her? The badass
I like,
grandma.
yeah, just strong women characters.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Um, well, cool. So yeah, this is the first time on this podcast that we're going to be talking kind of completely about one costume, and I know that you incorporated a lot of different techniques and a lot of different materials and some new stuff that things like you were talking about the sculpture that is new to you, and things that you have done a lot of in the past. And I have to say, I was looking through your work in progress pictures, and all of them, it's just so clean, and it looks so easy. Like your work is so clean. And I feel like there's some cosplayers that just agonize over every tiny little detail. And I don't know if that is you, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like you're just one that like, you just do it. This is the thing that you want to make and you might run into some challenges, but you're just making it.
Yeah,
Am I in the
yeah.
right ballpark?
No, no, that's accurate. I try not to agonize over little things or
Mm-hmm.
like if it's not perfect, I'm like maybe I can come back and redo it, but I just want to move on with it
Yeah.
and not be stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I find I am definitely guilty of getting myself stuck on more than a few things. So how long did it take you to from start to completion?
Um, I mean, aside from the time after the mask and making everything else, I guess in total, maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And was that the only project you were working on, or do you do like one at a time?
Usually I just do one at a time. I think somewhere in the middle there, Game of Thrones ended, and I sculpted Sansa's crown.
Oh,
Also
right.
to cast that.
That
Was
I've
fun little project in
seen
the
that. Is
middle.
beautiful. Beautiful. So have you can you tell me a little bit about the range of materials that you have used for this project?
Um, I used, well, definitely a lot of different types of fabric because in this one, the it's so heavily white, the whole costume. So I tried to bring in a lot of different textures to make
Hmm.
it more interesting. Um, and a lot of them were like Yaya Han materials because she had the cool carbon fiber and the ultra preme and the hex fabric, which were all really neat. And see here, definitely the resin cast,
Hmm.
obviously. And for her rifle, I 3D printed that along with the nano boost for her arm. And
Awesome.
then all the armor pieces are foam, but I also covered that with the ultra cream fabric so they would
Oh,
match and look really smooth.
oh, awesome. Now I was noticing that you have there's a the gold fabric that you use. I think I use the same fabric for my Athena because I recognize it, and I love it, but I also kind of hated working with it because it's so slippery. So awesome,
Yeah.
but definitely a different kind of a material.
Yeah.
So what did you? So this is this is a big build. I mean, from head to toe, with a big giant prop. It's a lot of parts: sewing, props, hard parts, foam parts, fabric parts, the mask. How did you decide how to start? Where did you start?
Obviously the mask. And I actually sculpted it over the course of just like 4 or 5 days because I was just obsessed with it for that period of time.
And what did you use for sculpting? What
I
material?
used monster
Okay.
clay, and I still haven't reclaimed the clay, so I still have the sculpt
Oh, oh,
right
that's
here
awesome.
on the
Is it
iPad.
hard? Is it hard to destroy that because you work so hard on
Um,
it?
a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's just been
Sure.
sitting on the floor, just
Collecting cat hair.
so not too bad, surprisingly. But
Yeah.
so I sculpted it out of the clay.
Well, that's awesome. So, I wanted to ask you about the monster clay. Have you used the monster clay before? Is it a medium that you are familiar with?
No, this is my first time going into it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, if someone is thinking about sculpting for the first time and using monster clay for the first time, is there anything that you wish you had known walking into working with monster clay that was helpful? Was sort of that like, oh my god, if I'd known this before, this would have taken me 3 days instead of four.
Oh dang, I'm not sure.
Or did
I
you
mean,
just research
definitely take the
everything?
it, I kind of research it, but definitely
Uh-huh.
like take the extra time to finish the surface
Yeah.
exactly how you want it.
Okay.
I didn't because I'm impatient. Uh, so after casting it, I had to clean up a little more on the
Hmm.
actual cast.
And what did you wind up casting it with? What material did you use?
Um, I think I used Smooth on 65D maybe
Oh, okay. Okay.
resin.
Yeah. Awesome. I've used that stuff before. That's
Yeah,
great for slush casting. So is that kind of what you did? You poured the resin
yeah,
in and
yeah,
you kind of like,
yeah. I did. Here's my
oh, there's your
horrible looking
mold.
mold. It's
Oh,
horrible.
whatever. That's not a horrible mold. I
I
could show
had to
you a
wrestle
horrible
it out of the
mode.
jacket, but yeah, I definitely it was slush cast,
Yeah.
several coats worth, and then let's see, I have a raw cast.
Ooh,
I
cool.
have a couple of them. I only did like five before I ripped the mold, so I only need one.
Oh.
In addition to the mask, she also had ears, so I had to sculpt little ears too.
I think I saw that in the some of the pictures that you sent over. Did you put magnets in them to
I
help
did.
them? Okay. Wow. That is
In the
really, really
hood, I
smart.
put a little like disc I made of magnets for inside the hood, and
Hmm.
then the ears just on top of the hood.
Oh, that is so smart. And then, were they rare earth magnets then?
Yeah, they were just like neodymium. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I've always wanted to make something with ears because I mean, ears. Cool. Cat ears, yeah.
And these are cat ears. So
Oh, is that them right there?
that is, I still have, okay, there's my clay.
Oh, cool.
And
So you
then
made
I
a one
made,
part mold for that. Oh, all right.
just in a solo cup.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Little
perfect.
Yep. And then the ear was in there. And then I filled them with an expanding foam so they'd be super
Oh,
lightweight. So those were also slush cast.
very smart.
Yep. I'm
Wow.
proud for my first sculpting project.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because you probably had to think about how to engineer the ears, like getting the ears to be on. And did you have an idea? Did you have all that planned out ahead of time, or were you sort of problem solving along the way?
I definitely wing a lot of things along the way,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to like completely attach them to the hood because I try and make my soft parts in a way I can still wash them if I need
Sure.
to.
Yeah, that's really
So I
smart.
didn't, it was going to be snaps or magnets or something along that line.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. Well, yeah, and talking about your mask a little bit more, it's so shiny and beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got that finish on there, what you painted it
Uh,
with? Oh,
I
very
definitely
nice. Cool.
just I sanded it more to get a nice smooth finish, and then I
Hmm.
just really used a gloss black spray paint. That's just rattle
Oh, really?
can.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then the gold was all clad lacquer.
Okay.
That was it.
Very cool. Did you seal it with anything?
Um, I don't think I did. It was like in the days leading up to Dragon Con, so some of it's a
Sure.
bit of a blur.
And I noticed that you have a little bit of a pad that is there on the forehead. Um,
Yes,
that's very
that's
smart.
EVA foam.
Oh, EVA foam.
And then
Oh, perfect.
there's little magnets. Yeah, there's EVA foam, and then I have
Oh.
little magnets because I wore like a headband, so I could just magnet it onto the headband,
Oh, oh, right. I was going to
so I could
ask you
still
how you
take it
got
off.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so
super,
I didn't want to
super
wear like straps
smart.
also under the hood and everything, and I wanted to breathe.
Yeah, breathing is important.
Breathing, we
Um,
like breathing.
yeah. Well, that is really, really smart. Really smart way to do that. You tell I'm like filing that away in my like now I know how to do that. And what did you use for the eyes? I noticed there's some mesh over the eyes
Yes,
so you can still see.
there is. It is I forgot like what the mesh is specifically called, but it's the same mesh that fursuiters use in their heads for the eyes, so they
Oh,
can
okay.
see, breathe
Okay.
through them
Yeah.
as well. So that's pretty common to find if you're just looking into like fursuits and stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it kept it nice and white, which is kind of what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, it
But
looks solid from here. So,
it's
very
pretty
cool.
easy to see out of too. So that was
Yeah.
really good.
Well, that is awesome. So that's what you started with.
Yeah.
And then what did you start up with next? What was the next part?
I think I just jumped right into the coat next. And since it was my third Ana skin, I used the same pattern. It's the
Oh.
Yaya Hall trench coat pattern.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so I've done it a couple times, so I know the pattern works for me.
Yes, that is the benefit of like loving a character and then also having more options for that same character that you can then make. Um,
Mhm.
that is very cool. So you use the Yaya Han pattern, and then I'm sure you modified it a little bit. Did you mod
Um,
it at all, or did you just sort of?
I didn't have too much. Like did the sleeves a certain length. I had to make it fit better, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But the pattern itself, like it already had the seam lines where I wanted it,
Oh,
and
hey, that's perfect.
color is nice. So it all worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome.
I can take it down.
Yeah, take it down.
Yeah, take it down.
Show and tell.
All right. And I've also got like the hoodie thing under that as well, which is where the
Oh,
hood is attached. So it's the hood's not attached to the coat. But
okay. It's just underneath the coat and then
yeah,
just sort of loose. Oh, wow, look at that.
yeah. And then so there's like tons of different types of fabric on here. The patch was made by a friend of mine, so I didn't sew the patch at all.
Is that an embroidered
Yes.
patch then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. When I saw it in the work in your work in progress
Yeah.
pictures, I thought it was like a tiny patch, but no, it's like
No, it's pretty big. It's like the size of my hand. Yeah. And then like
oh.
I've got this reflective material from Yaya Han also that looks lit up when light hits it, so that was nice.
Yeah, I thought when I was seeing the pictures, you've got a couple of really beautiful pictures that truly look like it's LEDs in the back of your
Uh-huh.
costume.
So like the whole thing is made out of the hex fabric. And for the coat, I tried to dye it just a little bit because the hoodie's made from the same fabric and I didn't want it to all get lost inside
Okay.
the white. So you can tell in some pictures they're a slightly different shade.
Oh, okay. Now is the hex fabric, is it a vinyl or is it like a porous?
It's a stretchy knit,
Oh, okay.
jersey knit type fabric.
And you
The
got that at
picture
Joann's. I'm
it looks like it's
yeah.
vinyl, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I got that at Joann.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I have some of the hex vinyl, I guess. They're tiny little hex pieces. So I thought that that was vinyl, but that's even better because I was wondering, because I see that you have weathered it as well. And so I was
I
wondering
did.
how you did that.
Yeah, I airbrushed that a little, and then like this black part, it's got the carbon fiber, and then
Oh,
there's just a
nice.
plain ultra premium, and then the gold ultra premium. So there's a lot going on this.
There sure is, but it's so awesome. Oh, and the inside you lined it with
I had to line
oh,
it, and then there was like this hexagon type pattern on it that I had to. I made a stencil with my silhouette cameo out
nice.
of like plastic binder separators.
That's super smart because then you can see where you're lining up for the
Yeah,
stencil.
yeah, sure.
Now, is some of that heat
Yeah.
transfer vinyl, the or is that all sewn on?
This was all sewn on. I tried to use heat and bond to get it laid in the right spot, but that does not work with the Ultra Cream very well.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it just like got really thin and curled and didn't stick. So I definitely
Oh,
had to sew all of this down.
okay.
Yeah, I sewed everything onto this.
Oh, wow.
And then my armor is the foam covered with the Ultra Cream. And I just have these magneted on to a harness that I wear on the inside because, again, I didn't want to attach anything directly to my fabric.
Oh, so
So I
does
did
that
both
harness
parts.
go? Yeah, so does that go through the coat then to
Yeah,
attach
the
to the
magnet.
shoulders?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
super smart.
It's just magneted right in there. Doo-doo-doo.
Oh my God, that's so smart. So I feel like I would love to be able to see the inside of so many costumes because of these kinds of little things.
I
This might be
know.
something that someone does all the time, and you've probably done it what 3 times now because, or do you use the same harness for every costume?
The first coat I made, I only used like one magnet that was directly in the coat, and that was like the first run where I went, "This isn't working."
Yeah.
So I've tried to improve on it every time, and this one seemed to work really well because then the harness could sit where I wanted it, and the armor wouldn't sag off with the coat.
It looks, is it pretty warm with it being lined and
Yeah.
yeah.
I wore it at Dragon Con, and it was,
Oh.
almost 100. It's so
Oh my
hot. Plus,
gosh.
the hoodie underneath it, which is why I made the back of the hoodie because you don't see it. It's a really thin athletic mesh fabric,
Oh, okay. Oh,
so it would be a lot more breathable. It's
mhm.
moisture wicking.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good idea.
The
That's super smart.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the hood.
hood is the same. Like I said, it's the same hex fabric for this whole creature here,
Hmm.
and she also has like a scarf or head covering. And I originally, like on my first costume here, I made it as a separate piece to wear entirely,
Hmm.
which was yet another layer covering your head. It was
Yeah.
so hot. So this ended up just being like a strip towards the front, and I just sewed it right into the hood,
Oh,
and it
smart.
kept it all in place. And then so the hood wouldn't slip off because now it's got these ears and everything.
Yeah.
I put a head comb.
What? That's so smart.
head comb in there so it would put right where I want when I had longer hair. I don't know if it'll work now.
Oh,
Um,
that is super smart though. And then yeah, then you don't have to worry about it slipping off.
yes. It's the same idea as the wig combs in your wigs.
Sure. Yeah. But more comfortable, I think. It
Yeah, it's a little
seems.
bigger. Like I had a spare one from when I made my veil for my wedding, like, 10 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
And you've got the resin ears attached with
yep, and
magnets
they just
there.
come right off like that. And the magnet discs are hidden underneath this scarf, so in between the layers. So you don't see them
Oh, so you
anywhere.
can remove those magnets. Oh, that's so smart.
Yes.
So did you just make little magnet pockets and then use those to align them?
Pretty much, it's just some fabric with a bunch of super glue wedged in there with magnets, so that
Oh
I can
my gosh.
reposition these if I need to.
Just gonna like come to you if I have questions about embedding magnets into a costume. Actually, the Cara Dune costume that we're working on right now has
Yeah,
so many magnets
I
that
bet.
we are trying to attach, and we were like, oh well, maybe we can sew all of these on. I don't want to sew any of them on because what a pain to like sew it by hand or even with a machine. You've got to like you're going to be wrestling with the magnetic force of the magnet and the machine itself. It's kind of
Yes.
yeah. So we have yet to get through that part of the project right now.
Yeah,
But
that is definitely a problem.
can
Is
I?
magnets all do stick together,
Yeah.
like
That
that
that.
harness. If I don't have the harness already put into the jacket and stuff, all the magnets just stick together. So I love magnets, but I also hate them at the same time.
Where do you get your magnets, if I may ask?
Um, I get them from kjmagnetics.com,
K
and they
N
have
K J
KNJ.
K
Yeah, it's
and J.
KNJ,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think the URL is just KJ.
Okay.
Uh, and they just have so many options of different sizes, shapes, thicknesses, strengths. Usually forget what I've ordered since the last time. It's a good site to use for really strong magnets
Awesome.
because
That's
you
good
can
to
get
know.
magnets off Amazon, but they're not as strong
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm going through several layers of fabric, I need that extra force.
Yeah. So what is the since we're talking about magnets, do you remember what strength magnet? Because I think I've been to that website and I just never know like the magnetic pull. Do you just find the strongest one that you can, or kind of try to find the size magnet that you were looking for and the strongest that you can find? What's your process?
Um, I try and go with the size I want first, because sometimes there's some that are just way too thick. I've
Mm-hmm.
ended up having to use some of those just because it's what I've had on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And stronger is usually better. I'm a little wary of going too strong though, because then like you might not be able to get something apart.
Sure. Oh, yeah, 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 absolutely. You don't want to damage, like crumple your ear, your resin ear,
Yeah,
and trying to get it apart.
she has enormous collars. For some reason. So this thing is just obnoxious. There is like little things here and there where I use like heat transfer vinyl, like this
Oh,
little
okay.
symbol there. Um, and then she had this huge diagonal zipper, which is obnoxious.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, is that the same zipper, diagonal zipper that you have used in other costumes of hers? Is it the same? Because zippers and I
Um,
do not get along very well, and I was just admiring the how precise that zipper looks, and it's on a diagonal too, which is
which is it's not that much worse to sew it on a diagonal, really. The first one I made, the first costume I made, I just did it straight up and down, and then like I looked at the reference and I'm like, oh no, it's diagonal. So I went back and I did it diagonally the next time. This was like the longest separating zipper I could find at Joanne, and it just wasn't long enough. I will definitely be going to a different website to order longer zippers because this could have stood to be like 4 or 5 inches longer.
Um, yeah, gosh, what is the zipper website? I think it's the one that I have used in the past is the Zipper Lady.
Yeah,
Um, if that sounds rings a bell. I think
I think
I've used
so.
her for super like suits that need, like my Hella suit needs a
Yeah.
ridiculously long zipper, but it also needs a really strong zipper. So
Yep.
I usually wind up using bridle zippers, which
Mm,
are really, really heavy duty, but they are
yeah.
also invisible. So
Good
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
So we've talked about your amazing mask and the ears and the soft parts. Um, can we talk a little bit about the props?
Yeah.
Cool.
Um, I like to get from Obsidian Props, Jill. She's a wonderful 3D modeler. Um, and I went to her with like my very first Ana costume. I had to commission her to make the sleep dart gun. And then like I bought her rifle, and so this is like the
Oh,
second one of these I printed, and then there was a
so
different model for
beautiful.
my Horus skin. It was a different model entirely, but I also got that from her. So this is my third rifle
Oh
for
my
Ana,
gosh. It's so
and
cool.
it's not the rifle for this skin because at this point, my third rifle, I got tired of making a new one for every skin.
Sure.
So
I don't know
I made her
why.
gold weapon. Her gold weapon because every character has a gold weapon. And so I can use this with every skin if I make more. And she had redone the files at some point between the last time I printed it, and it's actually bigger than the
Oh.
first time I made it.
Oh. Did you
Um,
know that when you printed it again?
yeah, because I had to talk
Okay.
to her to get the updated files, but so it was even bigger. And I'm tired of sanding things. I'm not like Eric. I can't just sand for hours on end.
You know,
uh,
I'm not sure that he really loves it either.
I don't think so, but he does it.
He does do it. I was gonna wear his I die sand again t-shirt today, but totally forgot.
Um, but my husband was like, "I'll sand it." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Like
Oh
he
my
doesn't help me
god.
with a lot of stuff, but he was
Yeah.
like, "I'll do it," right? While he's watching TV or listening to an
Yeah.
audiobook. So I'm like, "Okay." And I gave him the rifle at like 9 or 10 p.m. And he was working night shift at that particular time, so he would
Mhm.
usually be up all night anyway. So I wake up to like go to work and he's done.
Oh
He
my
sent the
god.
entire night.
Can I hire your husband for some of my projects?
I'm
That
like,
is amazing. You've got
like
your very own sanding fairy. That's not fair, Katrina. Oh my god.
I woke up a couple times over the night and I could just hear that sound of him sanding in the living room.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Wow.
he sanded it a lot better than I would have too, because I just don't have patience. So he did that, and then I painted it with all clad because I wanted to give that a shot with the
Yeah.
airbrushing.
Yeah. Wow.
And so far.
Does it break down or is it all one piece forever?
But somewhere, well,
You don't have to
um,
take it apart. It's okay. We can just use our
well, see,
imaginations.
stuff happened, right? I was finishing my photo shoot with the portrait dude, and he was like, "Are there any other shots you want to get?" And I'm like, maybe we could do something like." And I set my rifle down, and it fell, and
Oh, oh no.
the whole barrel like snapped.
Oh
So it should be
no.
even bigger than this because here's the other piece of it.
No, my gosh. Oh
Because
no.
I had a wooden dowel in the end, and it snapped at the wooden dowel.
Oh
So
wow.
after that photo shoot, I went and I hunted down a cosplay medic, which have become a pretty decent thing at Dragon Con now. So I'm like, if we just start walking, we'll find someone.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we found someone with their little
Oh.
medic sign, and I'm like, I need help.
Oh no.
So we like just pulled off to the side, and he pulled out a hot glue gun, and I just filled it up with hot glue. So this I think should have come out, but now it doesn't.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll use our imaginations.
Yeah, it's okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Wow, it's so beautiful. How heavy is it?
It's really pretty light now. I don't know exactly, but it's probably less than 2 or 3 pounds.
Nice.
Super light.
And
I print everything with a pretty low infill.
okay. And is it ABS or PLA?
It's PLA.
Mm-hmm. You do a lot of 3D printing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Just
more than I do. Anyone that does more than I do does a lot, in my mind.
I finished that, and then I have her Nano Boost, which was the one from my Horus costume I just repainted, and this was
Oh, okay.
this goes.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. That's so cool. I love those colors. And is that all outclad as well?
Um, this is actually rub and buff because
Oh,
I didn't want to mask it and airbrush it and everything, so I just like quickly rub and buffed it as one of the last things I did before
yeah.
going on. I also broke this on the way to another photo shoot. Treat my
Jeez. Oh no.
I
Well,
had
it's
slightly
beautiful.
modified this file so I could print the blue tube in actually blue, not paint it. Ideally, I had wanted to put
Oh,
LEDs in it so it would light up, but I didn't.
so you just printed that, and
Yeah,
so that's just blue PLA.
that little, yeah, just transparent blue filament for that little
Oh
piece.
my gosh. Wow, cool. Did your husband sand that one as well?
No, no, this one I did, I coated in XTC 3D.
Oh, okay.
It sanded a little bit, not much. It's really ugly up close, so I'm just gonna hold it way back here.
Oh. I can't tell. It looks absolutely perfect from me, from my end.
Yeah, my first Nano Boost for my first costume, I built out of EVA foam, and then for the tube, I actually used a mini M&M tube.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It
Oh
was
my
the
gosh.
perfect size, and I was able to like shove LEDs into that. I like using random trash like that.
Right, totally. Oh, I think we all have a box of random shapes and cool things you just can't throw away because you know you're going to use them eventually for something.
Especially
We are,
tubes.
especially tubes, yeah. And circles, like things that are actual globes. I don't know.
I think the other prop I had was her little grenades.
Oh, yeah. Did you cast those? Did you make a
I
mold of those as well?
tried to, from another piece that was 3D printed the end caps, and then I sent that, and I tried to mold it, and it was actually a two-piece mold. And then I tried to like slush cast it. It just didn't turn out quite right.
Oh.
um, it was an experience. But then the middle part is a ping pong ball, a
Oh,
yellow
hey, that's perfect.
ball, which I also used on my first costume too because I had a pack of them. But it's just the right size, and I also put magnets on these
Hmm. Oh,
to put
perfect.
on the strap so
Yeah.
I could remove them. Uh,
Whoa, that's pretty brilliant. From here, it looks amazing.
you didn't see all the failed casts of these weird little pieces. It was because solid resin was just way too heavy even for these little pieces.
Oh, I can
So
imagine the mag.
I tried to make them hollow, but then they were
Yeah.
squishy. It was weird.
Did you wind up filling it with backfilling it with foam, expandable foam?
These I didn't because the way the mold was and everything, it was just a really bizarre piece to try and cast. These are heavier than I'd like, but they're pretty light. Because
Well, I can imagine if they were too heavy, that would kind of be hard for the magnet to keep them in place if they
well,
were too
these
heavy or.
the magnets were good. It was just the strap for the bag. It would just all sag and pull the bag down itself.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like looking at the picture here. Where's the bag? Do you have the bag? Can we talk about the bag? Let's talk about a bag.
The crossbody
Accessories.
bag.
Yeah.
Accessories, yes. It's just a small bag. But I didn't want it to be floppy because like my first version of the bag, it was kind of floppy, soft. So I also used the same really thick interfacing to make the bag.
Oh.
It's just I didn't even line the inside, and there's
Oh my
actually
god.
candy in here still.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. So, were you walking around Dragon Con with a bunch of candy in that bag?
Yes, because it's grandma, and you gotta like you gotta have the bonbons.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
So
Hey, talk
apparently I haven't
about.
touched this since Dragon Con.
Oh, well.
Hmm.
How awesome is it that the costume comes with a bag already? and that you don't have to. Did you put
Uh,
pockets in the jacket, or were you like, if there's a bag, I'm
Not in
good?
the jacket. The only thing I didn't make was the pants because I just wore like some almost technical cargo pants type situation. So it had lots of pockets.
Hmm. Oh, perfect.
So, and I don't like making pants. So
Yeah,
I just bought pants, and
pants suck.
then I had this bag, and then she's got like I just call it the crotch bag. I don't know what it is. Um, but I put there's two little pockets on that as well.
Oh,
Um,
perfect. For
so
more
I've got like
candy.
my no.
Ah.
I wanted to keep it flatter, so it's actually just got like cosplay cards and stickers in it.
Okay.
Um, like I've got stickers of my Horus costume.
Oh, I love your stickers so much. Who does your stickers?
I primarily go to two different girls for these. Um, Suzumi creates and Kilakuma, and then I get them printed. Now I get my stickers printed at printer app, not printer app, stickerapp.com.
Okay.
And I think I gave you a magnet too.
Yes, you did. Actually, yeah, the I'm looking at the magnet right now. It's kind of dark on this side of my. Also, I'm blind, so.
Well, I think I've already angered some magnets. This costume went through a hard time at Dragon Con.
So how long have can you wear that costume before you're like, I gotta get this off me?
I try and tough it out for several hours. But mainly, like, I can just take off the coat and I'm pretty okay if I need a
Yeah,
break.
yeah, yeah,
Which is also why I try to make a lot of things really modular so I can take things off or, put them back on. So like when I was walking from my hotel to my photo shoot, I had the coat and a couple extra things just in a bag that I carried with me. So I would just be dying of heat.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I
It also
can't
helps
tolerate heat anymore.
in the way.
It has what in the way?
Also helps so I don't get stopped a ton on the way because
Oh,
like you're
yeah.
in a hurry and you don't want everyone to stop you for pictures and you don't want to be rude about it either.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think if you look like you're carrying part of your costume, you've got a bag with you. That definitely sort of like the universal, like off duty, cosplayer off duty sign.
Just let me be, please.
Right. Um, so I'm looking at the picture again. It looks like you've got some pretty sensible footwear for this costume
Yeah,
as well.
I tried to keep it comfortable. Usually, I try not to have specific shoes for costumes, but sometimes that doesn't work out. And in her reference, if you like really look at it, it looks like she's wearing socks and sandals. Um,
Yeah.
but I value my toes, so I went with shoes.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh. I was
they're
gonna say.
actually just like
Oh.
meshy running shoes, sort of kind of walking shoes.
Yeah.
And I just got them off like AliExpress for like 10 bucks
Yeah.
since I'm making cosplay shoes. And they were pretty comfortable, like the whole bottom is foam.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so
That
they're
is
like super
nice.
lightweight. And then I just added the gold straps, which is like 2 millimeter foam with that gold fabric wrapped around it, and then just directly to the shoe.
Wow. I have to
So
say your that white
they're
shoe looks
super
really, really clean. I feel like I would have such a hard time keeping a white shoe super clean. But they look really comfortable.
They are pretty comfortable. I was actually pretty happy with that. And there's like nothing to tie because it's just the stretchy fabric. And then I just put like a little piece of Velcro on there so I could take it on and off without ripping the foam since it is pretty delicate.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. Nicely done.
My relatively cheap and easy shoes.
How did you stick those onto the how did you get them on there? Did you sew them?
No, just some barge.
Barge.
Yeah.
Good old barge.
Good old barge. Same. That's also how I attached it to the foam. The fabric to the foam is just some
Oh, okay.
barge.
Oh, nice.
It held up pretty well. I didn't have to fix that of everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
And like
cool.
my knee armor is more fabric barged on
It looks so
to
clean. It's so wonderful and it stays flexible.
yes, because it's still foam and stretchy fabric. And especially for
How
my knees, I found myself kneeling a lot, so
Yeah.
I needed bendy.
So I'm noticing on these on your knees the edges are beveled, and you
Yeah.
managed to get that with the fabric. Did you just pull it really tight, or did you have to sew any of it like into the shape? Um, I'm not like right there looking at it, so you gotta tell me all your
Um,
secrets.
okay. I mean, I beveled the foam
Uh-huh.
underneath, and then it's a pretty stretchy fabric, so I just stretched and pulled it over. I would show you what I did, but I also backed it with felt
Oh, okay. No, that's
so that
smart. Yeah.
the edges of the fabric wouldn't peel up also. So I wanted to reinforce that with extra fabric and also give a place for Velcro to attach because I Velcroed them to my pants and then use the strap to kind of tighten it down.
I like that, adding felt and then being having that surface for the Velcro.
Hmm. I'm very paranoid about things just coming off of armor because boy, that's happened more times than I can
Yeah, that's experience talking right there.
count. If I have to over engineer it, that's okay.
Right. Well, let's see. We have talked about, we've pretty much gone from like head, like literally, like the tip of your ears down to your toes on this project plus the props. Is there anything that we haven't, any part of the costume we haven't talked about yet?
Like I'm looking at everything I've strewn around the room now. Um, I mean, not really. I think we've covered most everything.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I can see why it would take 4 months to make that amazing costume. And I love that you incorporated a texture into it because I can see from the reference picture that it looks like everything is kind of smoothed out. So I really like. I love it when cosplayers make those decisions because it just makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought that was that the way that you did your costume was exactly how the character was designed with the texture on it. So it was really, I think that I prefer yours, the way that you did yours.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thanks.
Cool. Well, I know that you wanted to try your hand at the sculpting and the using monster clay and making a mold and all of that. Was that the most challenging part of this project for you, or was there something else that you had to overcome?
I think that was the most challenging part, even though it only, like took me a couple days to sculpt it, but that's just because I was like super motivated and into it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because that was definitely something totally new for me. And I had to redo it like a couple times because like the first time the proportions were just like way off and it looked more like a dog than a cat. And that's like a really interesting to see your own evolution as you go through it because like you're really proud as you're doing it and then you stop and look at it and go, this is horrible. And then just making a mask in and of itself is interesting because I mean you get to put it on and wear it and feel like you look pretty cool.
Yeah, you
And
do look
I really like that.
pretty badass with that mask on. And I've really loved the photos that let's see, you have a couple of photos that I just loved from Portrait Dude. Oh my God. I was showing Brett those photos and he just about fell out of his chair. They're just so beautiful. And I think the one that I love the most is the one where you're holding the mask kind of away from your face a little bit to reveal underneath. It's nice to see the
That was
cosplayer underneath the mask. It's very
one
cool.
shot I wanted to get.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
cool.
that was definitely a shot I wanted to get because there was one of the art of her from the comic where they revealed her was kind of like that. So I kind of wanted to get that, and I really loved how the eyes look like they're actually glowing in that photo,
Oh
but that
yeah,
was
they
really
do.
just the light that Wes used, the way his flash went off, and it lit up the mesh to look like they were lit up.
It's amazing.
I
Did
really
you
really like that.
did you were those all taken at Dragon Con?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the pictures I sent for Dragon.
Oh
That's the
my
only place I've
gosh.
gotten to wear this so far.
Oh, I
Uh,
was gonna ask you if you'd worn it anywhere other than Dragon Con. So was this last
no,
year at Dragon Con?
yeah, this
Yeah.
was last
Yeah.
September. I was gonna bring it to ECCC, but
Yeah. 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 Maybe next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I recognized there's a one picture by the Jade Rabbit Studios where you're standing. It looks like, is that in front of an elevator or in an
Yes.
elevator?
It's between on the outside of some elevators, where they're just elevator tubes and they come up and down. And there was like a line for a panel that we had to like kind of shoot through in
Oh,
between. So
really?
she was like on the other side of this line of people, and
Oh,
I'm on
wow,
this
really?
side,
Oh my
and
gosh.
they're all just kind
Well,
of leaning out of the way.
just things that happen at Dragon Con.
It is. It's so busy.
Yeah, I hope to go again someday.
Nice if you did.
Yeah, it was really fun to go that one time
Yeah.
that I got to go. Can't wait for conventions to come back
Oh.
eventually. What is next for what you are working on, or are you working on anything? Because I know you do other crafty things on the side as well.
I do. Costume wise, I'm not sure right now because I just threw my hands up and I'm just like whatever at the moment. Uh, I was going to do more on the Aloy costume I just made because I was going to do like a phase one that I finished for ECCC. Um, and then I was going to add more to it for her more complicated heavy version for Dragon Con, but then I didn't see a point
Sure.
at this point. So that might be the next thing I do. Not sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just taking the time to work on some other stuff.
Um, well, before we go, can you tell everyone where we can go find your work and where can we find you online?
Sure. I am most active on Instagram at Yupkat, short, simple. Um,
Yep, cat with a K, with
also,
a K. Yupkat.
yes,
Yeah.
I am Cat. And then on Facebook, it's Yupkat Cosplay. And then I don't really use Twitter, but I do check it now and then. It's also Yupkat. That's it. And that's pretty much the main three places you can find me.
Well, thank you again so much for spending time with me and
Yeah.
talking to me so much about the inside of your costume and how you made everything. It's been really fun. And I'm going to try to list some of the links that the magnets and some of the other things that
Yeah.
we had talked about. So everyone, listeners and people who are watching, please go find Katrina Yupkat's page and go look at her stuff, and because it's really awesome. It's beautiful work, and I'm really glad that we got to talk about it so much today. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for listening and for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.